Hey there. I'm at Reagan National Airport, the nation's capital, and just got me thinking about what's going on this week at the FAA. So Acting Administrator Billy Nolan is holding a safety summit. Hey, after the meltdown in January with NOTAMs and a couple of near collisions, it is and a lot of pressure from Congress, obviously. He is bringing together industry to see if they missed anything and to see if, to determine if there's any red flags, to see if there's something they can do to turn the tide, and how our systems are doing and what areas we could actually have improvement in. So it's a great thing to be doing. It's a great reaction to what's been going on in the system because we don't seem to be going in the right direction in 2023. So always good to get the industry together to help. It's a fantastic move. But the only thing that bothers me about this is just a couple of weeks ago, the FAA testified on how great things were going and how ASIAS has been such a help to keeping the system safe. And yes, I get that the system is safe and this is supposedly the safest period in aviation, but I'm just kind of not buying it. I understand the metric that fatalities are like zero. However, since 2011, runway incursions have gone up every single year. That's a red flag. And let's not forget, traffic is down. Traffic is down, not just from COVID, but traffic is down from the peak of just prior to September 11th in the year 2001. The late 90s were screaming. Traffic numbers are down. And so, yes, they're coming back from COVID. Maybe that's an issue. But the peak traffic was over 20 years ago. And runway incursions have been going up. Red flag. I mean, it's not like a surprise to somebody. And the FAA is kind of falling down on some other important things. So the aircraft that were involved in the near collisions, the FAA just let them continue on. Yet with the criticality of those events, required them to stop the progress of their flights in order to be able to protect the black box, the cockpit voice recorders, the black boxes, because otherwise they'll get overwritten. Now, here in the US, it lasts for 2 hours. That's the reason for the rule. In Europe, it's 24 hours, so you might be able to let somebody go on to the next destination and then recover it. But not here. You got to enforce that rule. They didn't enforce that rule. And guess what? On 2 close calls, all the voice recorders were overwritten. So now you have to go with people's memories and what happened in other data and other sources. One of the prime examples of where we're just not following through and we're not really holding up the safety culture. And then we have ATC zeros. This was not something that happened until September 11th. It was an incredibly rare occurrence that there was ever a air traffic facility that couldn't provide services. They could provide some services. There's things with manual controls. As long as they've got communications, they can do the job. And in some places, all they need is a light gun. And here we have, just recently, Jacksonville Air Traffic Control Center has to go ATC 0 because of a radar glitch. A radar glitch causing ATC 0? That seems funny to me. That's odd, very odd, because you don't need radar. You got other things. As long as you can talk to people, you can keep things going. No reason to go ATC 0. So what is happening with the technology? This summit is super important. I just don't believe that is the safest period in aviation. It's just not. I don't hold much hope that a one-day summit is gonna, create some magic, but it's an important event, and maybe it'll stimulate some things, and maybe the FAA can move faster. Certainly they have things in the can. There are systems ready to go for wrong surface arrivals to give that warning to air traffic controllers. It's sitting, waiting to be deployed for over another year. It's like, why are we waiting? So hopefully this kind of event, this is the opportunity where things can at least go faster if we don't have an answer. So as long as we're on the soapbox about safety and what we can do about it, maybe we should think about that something might be better than nothing. And the FAA has made a declaration that they are going to withdraw from Leesburg Airport, the remote virtual tower. Now, I don't think these things are perfect, but they are something. And something is better than nothing. And that's really what we're going to. While Europe is going in the complete different direction. In 2024, Budapest, an giant airport in Europe that has over 120,000 operations a year, is going to move to a full virtual system. They've already passed factory acceptance tests. It's made by Indra. They've already been there in a backup mode, and they've been going through testing. And here they are moving big airports forward with remote virtual towers, and the FAA is going to turn this one down. Oh, and Leesburg, the city, doesn't want it to happen, and now the pilots don't want it to happen. So who made that call? Why is it so hard? Why can Europe do this and we can't? And now Leesburg, a very busy, over I think 70,000 operations a year, will have nothing. And that's better? Maybe something will come out of the safety summit. So let's go to something a little bit more fun. Let's talk about unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs. I guess we're changing all the acronyms to protect the innocent or something, but it just doesn't have the same kind of ring as UFOs. UFOs kind of got a cool thing. Of course, it's got a lot of history as UFOs, and we dream of Martians and Martian invasions and stuff like that. UAPs just doesn't sound cool. But it seems like the answer to the UAP task force, who's looking for whether it's aliens or not, is really going to just tell us that they're pico balloons. So I had to look up what these balloons are. Well, they look like your regular metallic birthday balloons, except they're a lot bigger, and they get really big. But they cost about $14. $14 for a weather balloon that will fly above the NAS, and you stick a little probe on there that is solar powered, and that costs about $250. So we're under $300, and you can do weather monitoring, which around the globe as it floats around the globe. And there is an organization called picoballoons.org, and they want to float these balloons all over the place to increase the volume of what's getting picked up for weather forecasting so that we can have better weather forecasts. And it's a very admirable thing to do. So if a lot of people crowdsource this kind of thing for $14 for the balloon and $250 for the probe, and you just watch it and it can stay up there for months at a time, and we can get better weather forecasting instead of flying, Hercules and other aircraft. These are non-pollutants until they get shot down by somebody. What I have, it's just amazing. So something sort of very simple has turned into being newsworthy. But what I found fascinating in looking at these things, when they if those are the balloons that maybe they shot down, not the Chinese one, but the other ones, the smaller ones. It takes us 2 F-22s and a whole cadre of other aircraft, including area refueling tankers, to actually go shoot down an under $300 threat. And this seems like a new thing. It seems it's a crazy amount of resources required for a $300 threat, but that's what is happening, which is scary in itself. But we should have already known that balloons were a problem. In World War II, the Japanese launched balloons to fly over the Pacific Ocean with bad devices. Hey, it didn't work so well. But this is, 70 years later, it's probably a little bit, we're probably a little better at these kinds of things. So it's a very scary thought in my mind. But our giant radars that see over the horizon and all do all those kinds of things seem to be worthless at this. So $300, all of a sudden, you can be a threat to the most powerful country in the world. I think that I just don't get why we missed this thing. Did anybody see the series Battlestar Galactica? There's an old one and a new one, but both of them are the same situation. How to defeat a superior technology in space. But maybe watching some of these old series and these old writers of sci-fi, maybe it should be part of the War College experience or at our military academies. Just a thought. Hey, give me a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. If you want to hear something, let me know. We'll see you next time. It is the
Mr. Richard Norman Scissorwinski,